Here we are. I thought you were bringing us in, Lee.
No, I'm waiting for you to finish chewing your food.
That's true. Why? Every single time.
Every
We
time.
record at my dinner time.
Nom, 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 nom. Oh, how are you guys doing today? Nom, nom, nom.
Yeah.
Fucking Tyrannosaurus Rick over here.
With his little arms.
What are you eating this evening?
My bad foot. Just limping.
Eating your foot?
I want to lead off. Now that it's kind of made the news, I know we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but now that you see what happens to elite athletes at 40, you can kind of understand where I'm at. Since Aaron Rodgers and I are basically in the same boat, both tearing tendons in the same foot.
You're comparing yourself to Aaron Rodgers. Right?
I mean, I can see it. Like for everybody on YouTube, you can see the athletic prowess of Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly.
God, you should see this man on the golf course.
Yes.
He is he's an athletic monster.
No, I was a limping monster. That was a fun golf day.
Yeah, I told you not to walk that much. Dude, he still went off and walked more than he should have.
I did, but it's
Did he
okay.
have a cane though?
No, I wasn't in pain when we were walking. I was careful too. Like I kept telling him, like, there's some shallow land over there. I'm walking that way. Like avoided hills. The next day I was.
He made me drive up onto the green 3 times.
You didn't drive on the green. You just drove next to it. We did drive up onto a tee box one time because I was like, fuck this hill. I was like, dude, no. We're pulling up.
Yeah, dude. So
I see old men doing that shit all the time. Trump drives on the greens.
At his own golf course.
Oh, fuck. Whatever.
Yeah, indict him for that shit too. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Why not?
Put it in there.
He ain't paying taxes on that. We all know that.
So anyways, if anybody didn't know, Aaron and Rodgers and I are pretty similar folk. So
yeah,
a lot of similarities.
You didn't tear your Achilles. You just got plantar fascia diabetes.
I did not get plantar fasciitis. I actually tore my plantar fascia. I think we've talked about this like 18 times.
Plantar fascia diabetes.
At first, when he went down, it was so funny. He went down and I was like, Rachel, just like what? I was like, he just tore a tendon. And she's like, he's holding his ankle. I was like, he just tore a tendon. Watch. That's what's gonna happen, right? And then they show video of him like in his boot getting out, walking in the tunnel. And I was like, he's got a boot on. I'm telling you right now, he just tore a tendon. It's probably his Achilles. If not, it's his plantar fascia. She's like, no. I was like, you don't understand. He and I are very similar. Body type, archetype, play style.
You're both from California.
You know, we're so similar that I could easily call it out right there. I diagnosed it right on the spot, and then you had to wait a day for them to say, yeah, you tore your Achilles.
So you're saying you're only alike to Aaron Rodgers when he's injured. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. I am like an injured pro athlete. At my best, I'm Aaron Rodgers with a torn Achilles. That's
not true, Rick. We all know you make way more money than Aaron Rodgers, bro.
I wish.
I know, right?
I don't know. He just got $40 million to sit on the side.
Yeah, but that's in New York money, so it's really like compared to where you're at in California.
It's crazy. So like all these stories came out afterwards. Like first of all, the trade that he made with Green Bay, they were supposed to get a first-round pick if he passed or played in 65% of the season. Instead, they get a second-round pick now. So they got fucked. Then there were bars in Wisconsin. They actually had live video of bars in Wisconsin where if the Jets lost, the bar would pay the tab for everybody. So when Aaron Rodgers went down, the entire bar went crazy. They started running up their tabs like absurd, thousands of dollars per person. And they watched the game and they're loving everything until the Jets started coming back and Josh Allen kept throwing picks. And like they watched the last kick in overtime and they have video of it. If you guys get a chance, go check the video out. But these people look distraught because they have a huge tab to pay now. So,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dude, my wife doesn't watch football, and she was even sending me like all the fucking stupid TikToks and everything. The ones that you sent me earlier with a highlight of his, of his game when he's running out with the flag, and then it goes like the end.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
She sent that to me. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, dude, it's such a huge story, man. Like,
it's Aaron Rodgers. He's behind Tom Brady, but he's almost as big,
And then now Eli Manning said on air that and I like how this episode turned into a Take Warning All Things Sports production.
All Things Sports presented by Take Warning.
No, Take Warning All Things Sports.
Twats. We can't say twats.
Twats?
Twats?
No twats.
Some twats.
Yeah, so, but do you think they're going after the GOAT, Mr. Brady?
Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I sent it to you, but Kaepernick, his agent reached out to the Jets to see if he'd be available. What is up with? Okay, like here's the deal. Colin Kaepernick, man, you've been out of the league like 8 years. Like that is a hard ask to try and get you back into the National Football League. People don't play; their careers are shorter than that, and you're trying to come back still. Like, just let it go now because he knows they're going to turn him down. He knows this, right? They're going to say no, and then he's going to flip it and see, it's because of my my actions, you know, fighting for racial injustice. And it's like, no. Actually, it's because you've been out of the league almost a fucking decade, bro. Like, chill. So yeah, Kaepernick went after it, and I heard that they are going to try and reach out to the Rams again because before Aaron Rodgers said he was available, they did reach out for Matt Stafford at one point. So we'll see.
Couldn't you imagine Stafford going over there?
Yeah, I could if they give us enough picks.
Yeah,
dude, I think that offense.
Is Tim Tebow available?
Is Tim Tebow available? I would totally be down for this. I love
joining us, and he's yelling into his mic already.
Yeah, Duper's already here yelling. His steroids just kicked in. He's protein just like Rick.
Yep.
You know?
He's eating nachos. I'm eating Harvest chicken skillet.
Oh.
Hi, Duper.
Do you think Matt Leiner's available?
Matt Leinart is not available.
Yeah, he's too busy doing commentary on college now. So
yeah, college game day, which they only go to Colorado now. Apparently, that's 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah,
they're going.
Dude, I want to go to Colorado, bro. Like I
want to see Coach Prime.
Yeah, no.
Is Deion Sanders available?
No, he's actually making miracles happen in Colorado, so nobody wants him to leave.
Are you just Googling football players to name?
Yeah. Is Johnny Unitas available?
Is Terry Bradshaw? Is Terry Bradshaw still alive?
Bradstall?
He is alive, but I think he's got dementia or something.
So do I. So.
Boy, I tell you what, that Bradstall guy, I tell you what, he's a son of a bitch.
Dementia's a hell of a disease.
It's not funny. That's not a funny joke.
It's not. No.
It's not.
It's okay.
We have the same haircut, too.
You and Bradshaw?
You said I need a haircut?
But you know Bradshaw gives away his own money on Fox every week?
Why?
Yeah, but
it's like a thing.
I'm sure he gets way more in his contract to be able to. And then how many people actually ever win his money? I'm sure they make that competition so hard that only select few do.
What if Duper started giving away his money?
Oh, he'd be homeless. The question should be, what if you gave away your money, Rick?
I don't have any money. I'm broke.
He would lose the helicopter. No. That's it.
Not even, and that's a misnomer. Some of his money, like a small percentage of his money, would make some family out there very happy.
Yeah, like would
completely rebuild Maui. I mean, either one, right?
Why do you keep leaning back and every time you talk, you hold the mic like it's a cock?
Oh, because I'm eating chips and salsa.
Because I'm eating chips and salsa. And why do you only see cocks whenever you look around?
I mean, I just see a long black shaft. My
My
mind goes where it's going to go, bro. There's nothing I can do about it.
I like that Duper and I are both eating in this show. This episode's going to be fantastic.
Yes, we are very prepared to give you a fine, high quality product week after week, folks. Promise you that.
Mm-hmm. What are you enjoying, Rick? What are you enjoying over there?
Rachel made a Harvest chicken skillet. So it's like wild rice, chicken breast,
man,
a little bit of Brussels sprouts. Looks like some squash or something, pumpkin. I don't know.
Damn, that's solid. I'm having chips and salsa. That's my diet tip of the day.
Nice. Chips and salsa are amazing.
That's all you're eating.
If only people can, be more considerate like me and wait to eat dinner after the show.
So here's the thing about chips and salsa. I think that could bring our country back together.
How?
Depends on the salsa.
Like if there was a candidate and he's like at a fair, like I'm in Iowa and he's at my fair, and he's like, "Hey, here's some chips and salsa. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to vote for that motherfucker." That's generous of him.
Because he gave you chips and salsa?
Fuck yeah, dude. Chips and salsa are the best.
Trump likes chips and salsa.
No, remember we almost came apart because Joe Biden said something about tacos a couple years ago when Joe was on the campaign trail. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, if tacos can't do it, chips and salsa can't do it.
I think chips and salsa could bring us together.
The tacos thing, what did she do? I think she called people tacos.
Oh, was it Kamala?
Yeah, something like that.
Stupid.
Was she like down in the the border of Texas or something? She's like in San Diego. Hey, look at all the little tacos.
It was Jill. It was Jill Biden, right?
Yeah.
It was Jill?
Yeah.
School teacher?
Yeah. And she was doing something, and she was talking about tacos and how the best tacos come from certain places, and it's because the people are tacos or some shit.
Okay, so that's kind of a fair statement.
You will find any way to defend your boy.
I'm just saying, I'm not going to North Dakota for tacos.
I'm gonna find it.
But I'll go to
North Dakota has a bomb ass Mexican joint that makes some good tacos. I bet you we can find one.
Would you go to New York City for some tacos?
For tacos? Maybe.
I'll eat tacos anywhere.
So New York City is the #1 food capital in the country. So they're gonna have great tacos somewhere. Guaranteed.
Yeah. And pink tacos too, huh, Rick?
They were in San Antonio of all places, and she said that the Latino community in San Antonio was as unique as the breakfast tacos in the city.
Yeah,
maybe San Antonio has a lot of varied.
Quirky.
I've never had breakfast tacos in San Antonio, so I don't know.
I don't think I've ever had a breakfast taco ever. I've had a breakfast burrito. I don't think I've ever
sell
had
them
a
at Taco
breakfast
Bell.
Dude, you can get breakfast. You can make a breakfast taco. It's so good.
Well, anybody can make it, but I don't think I've ever had one. That's
you get a little bit of the papas. You get a little bit of the huevos. You put the huevos and the papas together. Maybe a little chorizo, right?
Yeah. Keep going, bad boy.
And then you sprinkle some salsa and maybe some chips.
I am like waiting when you for talk this to food to me. An Asian accent somehow.
It's I didn't want to sound Mexican, so I was trying to sound as white as possible. Did it work?
Did a good job.
The Terry Bradstall likes those tacos.
So you know what I've been on? I've actually been on a kick when I make, because like once a week I'll make breakfast, and I've been on a chilaquiles kick. Have you guys ever had chilaquiles?
I think I have.
No.
So you take tortillas, you slice them up, and then you throw them into a little bit of fat, that can be your oil, whatever. But you kind of like pan fry them a little bit, and then you have a nice sauce, like a mole sauce, an enchilada sauce, something that you like, and maybe a little meat and some eggs. Then you kind of just fry it all up together in a pan, and it's just a simple dish, but it's the best. It's pretty common in Mexico. It's like a street dish there. But I've been eating the shit out of chilaquiles on my Sunday breakfast or Saturday breakfast.
All right.
I don't know.
If only I lived closer to you and I can eat Saturday breakfast with you.
No, you use a healthy oil. I use little street taco corn tortillas, so it's not like I'm using a bunch of corn tortilla and then just a little bit of eggs. And
I just watched Duper down a whole thing of salsa in his mouth.
Did he drink it?
Yes, he drank it.
Duper, did you drink the salsa there?
Yeah, I don't have any chips big enough still for dipping, so I have to combine the chips and the salsa
you made it like
a different way.
You made it like milk and cereal, right? You just put all the little crumbles into the salsa and then had like a crunchy.
No, he's literally putting the crumbs into his mouth.
Is that Pollo Loco?
Pouring the salsa into his mouth.
Is that Roberto's?
It's leftovers from yesterday's Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Place is terrible. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ. Chipotle.
Why does he do this to himself all the time? All the time.
That one was on purpose. 100%.
He was a very educated man, but yet he never thinks before he speaks. Still to this day.
All right.
I don't read out loud. Like I read in my mind. So like I've thought about that too. Like maybe I should start reading out loud, so then it would improve my vocabulary, my speaking skills, and obviously I've decided not to do that. So
the rain in Spain on the one today.
Hubert, your mind reads things like a blind or a deaf person that's like never heard the word, so they're just assuming this is what it would sound like.
I'm not gonna go there. I've already donated to the Special Olympics, and they won't leave me alone. I am not going there at all. I've learned my lesson, Rick.
Greg, I got a question. Have you heard about the Elon Musk fiasco right now with the Starlink in Ukraine?
So I haven't read it, but I saw headlines that said like he prevented an attack on Russia or something. But I guess I haven't read it.
They were gonna do something in Crimea. Ukraine wanted him to turn the network on in Crimea. They were going to do some kind of attack, and he refused to. He left it off. And so then, obviously, that sparked some backlash, like, what the fuck? And then he came out, and he's like, look, I'm 100% American. I would die for this country. I didn't want to do this because I felt like that would be me entering into the conflict with Ukraine. He's like, I'm trying to stay neutral and out of this.
But that was his thing. Giving them internet this entire time.
Starlink.
Yeah.
But so like that
there's a difference there, and I'll tell you the difference right now. Is giving them internet is a humanitarian thing because that can get them to safety. If a city's being bombed, that can get information out very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Turning on the Starlink so then they could bomb the Russians. Well, that's an active participant. So I can understand his logic between the two.
I see the logic. That was last night. Today, Putin, well, he's a pretty smart guy. He spun it. Putin spun it and came out calling Musk an outstanding person and an outstanding businessman, and acknowledged his talent and success in the business world, and did the whole like, we fucking love Musk, because he knew that Musk was kind of on in hot water with our allies. So he, them being who they are.
That's what he does. He stirs the pot, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he's out there stirring the pot right
here
now
in this country. Absolutely.
No,
he doesn't really give a shit about Elon at all, either way.
So I got a rebuttal to Duper's point. So you can't, I don't think with Starlink, you can turn on and off certain parts of the internet. It's either you have internet or you don't have internet.
No, the area that they were trying to bomb did not have the internet service, and they would have to turn it on. They would have to move the satellites so then that area would have service, so then they can initiate this attack.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because remember, these are satellites on a path, and that's what's creating this net of internet.
Yeah, but they have enough satellites in orbit now to where nobody loses Starlink internet.
In the path. There's still parts of the world that do not get Starlink.
Well, I mean,
and there's parts that aren't turned on, obviously, because this part was not turned on. This area. Not if they had to reach out to Elon and ask him to turn it on. I mean, we can make the safe assumption that it was off then, right? On, off.
I'm not one to like,
side. All right, Greg. But let me help you out. So a light switch, right? If it's
wait, you're gonna try to school me on the internet and technology? You're the last motherfucker I'm gonna hear about.
Hey,
the
I
internet.
Just saw you over there thinking about it. I was trying to help you out, buddy.
No, I'm just trying to think of, I mean, obviously they'd put their satellites in there. But if he deactivated it within that region, then that makes sense, obviously.
And I was gonna say that I don't really side. I wouldn't side with Musk. Normally on stuff like this, just when you first heard it, but once you hear the explanation, if I were put in a position where I had to, one country is at war with another country and they're like, hey, we need you to turn the internet on because I'm going to go fucking fuck these guys up, I would have to seriously weigh it too, because if I turn it on, yeah, of course I want to help Ukraine. I want to get Russia out of there. But I know that if I do that, Russia may turn this into something where I'm now entering into the conflict, and that could be bad for not just his business, but, the people that work for him.
But like I said,
I think it goes beyond that on a humanitarian level, right? Because now you are directly responsible for those lives that are lost. You did that, right? I mean, that's that heavy burden that any president has to weigh, right? Whenever they initiate an attack, he wouldn't necessarily be the person out there pulling the trigger, but he would be responsible for those dead people. And not everybody.
He would be implicit.
That's the word. He would be responsible. He would be responsible.
But who's to say? So they've had Starlink for months now, right? If not a year plus. Who's to say they haven't used this Starlink system to plan attacks entire time? This is one attack in the span of a war that has been consistently battles back and forth, territory gained, territory lost. Nothing has changed in the year plus besides the U.S. going more and more broke supporting this thing. So who's to say that Starlink hasn't prepped Ukraine battles this entire time? Right?
And maybe he was watching the movie from about 15 years ago called Iron Man, and he didn't want to be this generation's Tony Stark.
He should be.
Well, the internet is way more dangerous than weapons, so yeah.
I mean, and he would essentially be
so Elon's going to be in a iron suit now.
He chose not to. He put Starlink, like what Duper's talking about, the whole humanitarian thing, right? He gave them Starlink a long time ago, and you're right, it probably has been used for war efforts, absolutely, right? But when they directly asked him to move it for a war effort specifically, I could see the denial for that.
because he can justify the other one where he's saving lives, right? He's eccentric. He's weird, but it seems like he has a decent moral compass when it comes to this.
But did you see what he named his child?
Isn't it like Megatron 6 or something like that?
Him and Grimes, man. Like, oh God, I'll have to look it up.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. It's something
100% he's into some freaky shit, because you can just look at Grimes and she's a freak, dude, without a doubt.
You ready? It's Tau Techno Mechanicus.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with these people? Like,
it sounds like a nightclub in Japan.
Jesus Christ, he's got 8 kids.
Yeah, dude. He just keeps
pumping the money for it. Don't criticize this. This man can have 46 kids. He'll be fine.
He's got Kai, Saxon, Damien, Griffin, Vivian, Jenna, Nevada, that weird one with all the fucking symbols, and Exa Dark Sidrail Musk. Plus, he's got 9. And then Tau Technical Mechanica.
Things started to go different once he named one Nevada, huh? Like it.
He's like, wait, you guys aren't going to stop me? All right.
Like, Damien, you're okay. Jenna, you're cool. Nevada, yeah.
Yeah, Nevada was a slippery slope for that poor guy. What's your take on it, Rick? What do you think?
I think that well, like I said, I kind of side with Elon on this. I think that it's a tough call, and if you're trying to avoid a conflict, especially when you're one of the biggest corporations in the world, and the dude could probably run a small country and have his own shit. He's got to keep his diplomatic ties open for himself, for the people that work for him, and then also look at the safety and what it is. He has a clear way of explaining out of why he gave Starlink over there. Because you're right, he did start with that argument that he was getting it to make sure there was communication for families and the people that were in the middle of all of it. Once you're actually saying, all right, yeah, I'm helping the Ukrainian government and they're going to bomb the shit out of you and they can communicate using my internet, then yes, there is probably something where you're going to say, okay, we got to take a step back. Like I can't actually be implicit in what you're about to do because I would be entering the conflict. That's how I look at it. So I understand that logic. That's fair.
You think he's justified, Lee?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you have to remember too, at the end of the day, he's still a businessman, right? And he has a lot of ties to the U.S. government as well. He's working directly with all these big agencies, including NASA and everything.
Okay, but considering that, though, you think he would have pulled the trigger on it then? Because he's at risk of losing those contracts because he didn't do what the government told him to do.
What the government told him to do?
Turn on the
satellites. Is it the government that told? It's our own
Ukrainian
government. No, it was the Ukrainian government that said it.
Well, we can pretend like we're separate, but I mean, we're running that war through Ukraine.
Well, I was just saying his ties with us, him being a businessman and all that stuff can tie directly into his decision to not aid a war effort that might implicate the U.S. in certain things.
I heard in passing too that we're doing like a huge training exercise out there near Poland. I don't know. Some people are worried that it's like an okie doke for like it's a big enough exercise that it could be like an actual invasion.
Well, how many NATO exercises have been done since this war? I'm sure there's been quite a few of those too.
That close in the proximity?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think this government's good enough to keep that a secret that long. But I
guarantee you there's been military drills. I mean, whether those are released or not, or how small scale or large scale they are, but I guarantee you there's been NATO planning all over that fucking region.
Yeah. Putin's a beast too, man. When he shot down that dude from that Civil War, man, that he got away with it too. Like nobody's
Prigozhin.
Really, Prigozhin, Pringles.
Let him try a few more times.
Dude, I love you, man. Hey, can we talk about a continent that's fucked up right now? What is going on with Africa, bro? Like, seriously, Rick.
Are we allowed to say that?
Well, I bless the rains down there. For sure.
What? That's not a good thing, bro.
I'm trying to do something good for them. I
in
bless
Libya,
the rains.
They don't want the rain.
So what is going on? I don't know what's going on.
Super. Thank you for the fucking astute observation that it's a song. That was. Did you hear him out of nowhere? He just kind of like vomited it out. It's a song. We get it. It's Toto. We all know this.
Oh my god.
So the joke landed really flat. So I was trying to.
I got it.
Oh, he got it.
But nobody laughed.
It totally went over my head, or else I
thought it was funny.
Greg was processing it. He wasn't sure. So.
I routinely play that album for my kids. I make them listen to that shit.
Woo woo.
The whole album.
The whole album. There's only like 5
songs
on
that album.
I'm so happy somebody has heard that song. I once heard that song was like the most perfect song ever written. I wrote an article about that. I don't know.
I don't believe that.
It is the most perfect song ever written.
That is not the most perfect song.
Yes, it is.
From the 80s? No.
Yes.
No, ever.
No.
Yeah.
Freebird.
Nope.
Freebird wasn't in the 80s, though.
I know. I'm just saying. Like he said, all
Freebird
time.
is only perfect for one occasion. That's when you're drunk.
Ooh, Killing Moon. That's another one that might have been one of the greatest written all time.
Yeah, all time. What do we have to go like Beethoven or Mozart?
Well, there's no. Are we talking with lyrics or no lyrics?
Oh God, Duper, you're into classical music now?
Fuck yeah, let's do this. You want to talk Chopin?
Chopin. Well, okay, hold on.
Chopin.
Chopin. Show me your pan.
How do they spell it, Duper?
I don't know.
Because it's not how it's pronounced. I'm just letting you know.
Greg.
Yeah, dude.
Greg. What is happening in Africa? I don't know what happened in Africa.
So you didn't hear about the massive earthquake in Morocco?
I know about the earthquake.
Killed over
2,000. 3,000.
No, it's like up to 3,000 now.
Yeah, 3,000. Yeah, that's what I said.
But that's a country in Africa. And then the next one, which is even worse, was the flooding in Libya. When
this is worse than the earthquake?
Yeah. I can't. Let me see if I can get Rick. You're my research guy.
Poorly, he's looking up like, no, he's not. I'm a research guy.
10,000 people in Libya are feared missing. With thousands more they think dead, but they're still
5,300 are feared dead. Thousands more missing.
Well, as of right now. What part of the country did it hit in Libya? I'm guessing that the infrastructure was pretty poor. I'm guessing
they had. I don't know if it was it one dam or multiple dams that burst and flooded large regions of.
How old
Libya.
was the dam?
I don't know. Pretty old though. I don't think it was.
I'm gonna say 1 year old.
Infrastructure is too great there, but
yeah. Well, I mean, we have that issue here in the United States. Infrastructure is getting very old at this point. We need to do more investment into infrastructure, not just here but worldwide.
They are deeper. It's called the Green New Deal.
Yeah, that's.
Well, not to mention. Okay, first of all, our infrastructure is not Libya. Libya had an earthquake 2 years ago. Do you remember how many people died? I'm gonna look it up.
Now, I'm not saying that we're Libya, but the world is seeing this issues because we're not investing enough. Like we build a dam, we're just like, all right, it's fine. No, we need to invest more into these dams, make sure that they're structurally sound. In Libya, what adds to that is the poverty, right? These houses aren't built for that. They don't have systems that drain that water. I'm sure that came right down into a very populated area. It sounds like.
Well, in Morocco, it was the first major earthquake that they've had in 60 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's a different scenario, right? An earthquake, you really don't have any control over an earthquake. A dam and a flood.
Correct, but you can. Well, so it's difficult, right? Like Japan, like their buildings sit like on springs and stuff to accommodate for shockwaves and stuff like that. So
that's what's happening here.
Yeah. So there's stuff that they can do. But I mean, if you're only talking about one major earthquake every 50, 60 plus years, you're probably not going to spend money to do that. Right. But dude, I'm just like, so there's probably just doing loose math, like about 10 to 15,000 people here, if not more, that are either feared dead, missing, or wounded because of these natural disasters. Like that's tragic, man. Like my heart prayers go out to the people of Libya and Morocco and their families and people who lost everything. And, like even the survivors, like, dude, that is just sad. That is just sad. And it both happened in a span of a week, I think. So it's just sad, man. It's take that shit for granted.
It's happening everywhere. We've had a lot of flooding, a lot of major storms.
I hate to see these places where, like right now, they had the 6.8. In 2019, they had a 5.2. In 2016, they had a 6.3. In 2007, they had a 6. In 2004, they had a 6.3. 69,
Morocco?
69, they had a 7.8. 60, they had a 5.8. And it just kind of goes on.
Yeah, I think the one in the 60s, they lost even more people. More people died from that earthquake.
You'd think that when you routinely suffer higher magnitude earthquakes, obviously it's not going to happen yearly, but when every couple of years you're having something that's between a 6 and a 7.
Yeah.
Countries don't have the money for it though, right?
Yeah.
We live in America where we have had the money to do those types of things and have building standards and things of that sort. A lot of these countries are just trying to get by. In developing countries, they're very much at risk for what can happen through nature. Thankfully, our infrastructure is so sound that when California gets a rogue attack from a light tropical storm, they're able to survive it. Or Texas gets a winter storm in summer. We get through it. We get through it here because we're a rich country. We have the resources. When you don't have those resources and you're just trying to survive, you're trying to eat, drink water every day. Your biggest resource, your biggest worry when it comes to resources is just having water. Your building codes kind of aren't going to be the same.
Yeah, it's just sad, and thoughts and prayers go out to all those people over there. Sorry, I didn't want to bring down the podcast, but dude, it had to be mentioned.
No, it's fine.
9/11 just passed. Joe Biden was, I think, the first president not to go down there. Is that a big deal to you guys or no?
Go down
where did he go? I forgot where he went. He went on vacation or something.
He was in Alaska. He was at the base in Alaska that responded to the potential terrorist threat.
Is that where he was?
Yeah. Wait, there was a potential terrorist threat in Alaska?
I guess they were the first base to respond after the towers were hit. I don't know. That's something I read about it.
What, in Alaska?
Yeah, he was all the way in fucking Alaska. Kamala went to both. Yeah.
So do you think he should have gone, or has the time passed? Has there been enough time?
At this point, yeah. I feel like it's a political stunt now. Pay your respects. You don't have to be there on 9/11, to show face. Pay your respects the right way.
Wait, so tell me more about Alaska.
I don't know, dude. I'm telling you, that's what I read, and I don't understand it. I'm gonna look it up right now.
I don't know.
I'm trying to look it up right now.
All right.
I swear to God, I read he was saying something about you guys were the first ones to respond. Yada yada yada.
That sounds like the media just trying to cover for his ass, as opposed to just saying maybe it is time, right? Do we still go to Pearl Harbor every year, right? I mean, does that happen? Do we even know what day Pearl Harbor happened anymore?
Yeah, Greg's birthday.
Thanks for putting my birthday out there. No.
Never forget.
The day that will forever live in infamy, dude. No.
So, but how long do we have to go on? Because there's kids drinking age now that weren't born at that time. It's kind of a long time ago at this point. So I don't know. Maybe it's time.
Has Biden gone to Hawaii at all?
No.
He still hasn't gone.
Yeah, he went to Hawaii.
No, yeah, he did. He went to Maui last week, I think, or the week prior.
A week or two ago.
Has he gone to Ohio yet?
Are you talking about East Palestine?
Mm-hmm.
No, because I think it's now at this point. I think he's kind of in a bind because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Because everybody's making it a big deal, which justifiably he should have visited East Palestine, but he didn't. And now, of course, it's just cannon fodder. They're using it for political gain. So if he goes, it'll turn into, oh, here we go. Of course he goes. You've got to say political face. But if he doesn't go, they're like, he's a tyrant. He's a horrible person. He's ignoring these people. That guy can't win there. I don't know. I don't think he will show up.
I feel like anytime the president responds to a natural disaster that's not on the level of 9/11, they get shit for it either way.
Oh, Bush got shit for 9/11.
How did he get shit for 9/11?
Because when they came in, they told him about the towers. He kept reading to that
oh, well, yeah, that
elementary school class.
Yeah, no, but when he was on site and he had the fucking...
But I would tell you in that scenario, what I'm guessing happened in that scenario is that he was in shock, right? And then he also doesn't want to cause a panic with a bunch of kids in the classroom.
No, right? I'm not talking about when I'm talking about any aftermath of a disaster, Like when he visited and he was doing that bullhorn, we will get these people, and his speech was actually damn. Okay.
I was gonna say Bush handled the immediate aftermath of 9/11 perfectly to me. I don't think he could have done much more. He was there. He supported. He said, "We're going to get these motherfuckers." Like, he was digging people out of the rubble. Do you remember that? There was that point where he was there when they found somebody and he helped them pull them out, and he did what he was supposed to do. Giuliani also amazing. That's why he had his reputation.
Yeah, he was America's mayor at that time, right? And that's not where his reputation came from, but that's where he became America's mayor.
Yeah.
No, he got his reputation from Rico. That's where he got his reputation.
Well, then he got a new reputation when he started spray painting his hair and sweating. Then we're like, he's a little crazy.
Okay, well, I mean, no, that's not a bad transition there, because Giuliani was at the forefront of the Ukraine investigation that Trump was trying to do in Ukraine, and which resulted in Trump's second impeachment. And now they're opening an impeachment case in the Biden over those very same allegations, right? So, I mean, we're saying that Giuliani was smeared.
He was
put on a fucking bagel.
But dude, you're giving us nonstop ammo, bro.
But nonetheless,
holy shit!
It sounds like Giuliani was on to something out there.
Did you just say Giuliani? Like Giuliani?
Now you're just looking. But
no, I swear to God, he said that.
No, he said Giuliani.
He did say Giuliani. Are we gonna give him that one?
Eat your chicken.
All right.
So Giuliani. Now I'm trying to say it and I can't say. How did you say it, Rick?
Giuliani.
Was he on to something out there in Ukraine, right? And Trump suffered an impeachment there. I mean, do you think that this impeachment actually goes anywhere with Biden?
No,
it's tit for tat.
No,
you think it's tit for tat?
What it is?
100%.
Not at all. How is it tit for tat?
Because the Democrats did it when they were in office to Trump. Now that they have the control, this Congress can do it right now. They've been pushing him. McCarthy has to keep his speakership by going to the kind of like the far right folk that are the loudest, right? Those squeaky wheels. Of course, he's going to try and open the investigation. I heard he doesn't have enough votes to even open the investigation yet, though.
But you don't think that there's any smoke there?
I think if there's something there, hold them accountable. 100%.
What I think is that this could very well backfire on the Republican Party.
Yes.
Why wait 3 years to do it?
Exactly. Fucking get him.
Because they fucking impeached.
Get him.
Trump was trying to get him. Trump got impeached when they were trying to get him before the election. Nothing.
Yeah.
Silence. I mean, it was right, a different Congress, but I'm talking about. So this current Congress has been in power for about a year now, right? So, I mean, I get that that's some part of it, right? But if that was a priority of his, why wouldn't they have done it immediately when they got in office, like in January, right?
Because you got to have a case. You got to actually have a case. And so with this whole scenario,
a year before election year, like, come on.
McCarthy's only been there a year.
Well,
how much? Well, not even a year.
But I'm just saying, you think? No, I'm talking about from the Biden perspective. Do you think he's going to be impeached in an election year?
Yes, I think that there's a possibility. Now, I think
do impeachments even matter anymore?
Nope.
So here's what I think is happening: is that the Republicans are making this play because it is an election year and because there is evidence, right? And Biden should probably be impeached. I think it goes to Congress or to the Senate afterwards, and we might actually have a surprise vote there from the Democrats where they actually remove Biden from office, because they might be looking for a reason for Biden to get out of office and move aside, because the polls are tightening up tremendously between him and Trump, right? And I think that they do want younger blood in there. I think that they do want a Newsom. A Pete Buttigieg. They want somebody in there younger. I think it could backfire.
Oh Lord,
it's just going to be a waste of time. They're going to waste millions of dollars and so many hours doing this thing.
Dude, the
juice is not worth the squeeze.
Did you guys see John Fetterman when they asked him about it?
Yes, he's an idiot.
What did you say?
His show was funny, man.
No, he was like,
didn't see it?
Woo!
Yeah,
and then he did like a little dance, and
he's walking. The reporter goes, "Hey, what do you think about them?" Blah blah blah. Right? And Fetterman looks over at him and goes, "Oh no, oh spooky, wait, oh no."
So my takeaway
just fucking walks away. It was hilarious.
My takeaway on the Fetterman thing was that I'm happy he looks healthy. Honestly, like that's good. That's the healthiest we've seen that man since he was in the hospital. So that is good, regardless of how
because it's a different person.
I think what he said.
It's not the same person anymore.
Doesn't he look like one of the Koopas from Super Mario, the movie? John Leguizamo.
I've never thought about that.
1993 or whatever.
Yeah. So they had multiple Koopas in that movie too. So that's probably what's happening with Fetterman.
He's a man of the people.
That Duper can pronounce Koopa.
I think.
He's actually been saying Cooper Trooper. We just didn't catch it.
So
Koopa Troopa. The Koopa Troopa. God damn it. Sorry.
So Greg repeated the talking point that's all over Twitter, right? I've seen about 100 posts. They're all saying exactly the same thing as Greg. And
to be
copy
fair,
and paste.
I said the same thing when they did for Trump too.
Yeah, but Trump's impeachment into Ukraine, that one was tit for tat. That was to stop the investigation.
No, I'm talking about Pelosi's raid or tyrant to freaking do the impeachment on Trump was a complete waste of fucking time.
I think we agreed on that too, right?
But
I think we collectively agreed that was a waste of time.
If we had a vice president who was funneling money from Ukraine, from companies in Ukraine, and also interfering with their corruption scandals from a government level, you don't think that we should look at that, especially if the family profited and Biden profited specifically?
Yeah.
You don't think
we should because he held public office at the time, right?
Okay.
So
we should. So it's not a waste of money, right?
No, but their big thing to do
impeachment.
Yeah.
The investigation.
So you're not. So, but remember, it was all about January 6th too. It wasn't about.
That was
Trump
a waste of money.
didn't get impeached because of his Ukraine investigation. He got.
Oh no, Ukraine was the first one, right? And then, yeah, okay, no, so I mixed them up, and then January 6th was the second one.
Yeah.
Yes, it was purely to stop the investigation into what's now being unfolded as truth. He did have ties with the Ukrainians. He was pulling strings. His family was profiting off of it. We're going to find out if he was profiting off. No, his family was profiting off of it. Now,
technically, it is alleged because he hasn't been charged.
Exactly. No. I want to point that out. No, that's we're saying it like it's fact, but we have to mention
the line. That's the line. Is that we don't know how much or if Joe Biden was directly profiting off of it, because we do know that Hunter was. That is true.
But none of them have been charged with anything. Well, Hunter has legal issues,
Hunter
doesn't he?
No, he's about to get indicted like this week or next.
Yeah,
that's the whispers around why they're moving forward with the impeachment right now. Is that after Hunter's plea deal fell apart, which would have closed the case on everything because the plea deal was a sweetheart deal. That investigation fell apart, and now there's whispers that there might be a new sweetheart deal. Something might advance to get Hunter off the books again. They have to open this investigation right now, so then that door is not shut.
Again, he still doesn't have the votes for the impeachment investigation, so we'd have to see if they can get it done. And he's only doing this in the House, right? So,
but always has to start in the House.
It starts in the House. So I don't know. It is what it is. I think it's a huge waste of money. I think that the proper people to be investigating him would probably be under our judicial branch, not under the legislative.
Well,
explain that to me. Explain that to me, because
why should the FBI, the CIA, any of our major
they're
law
not
enforcement
part of
agencies
judicial.
Investigate him?
They're not judicial.
Aren't they judicial?
The FBI is.
They're not legislative.
They consider that's that fourth arm of the judicial or of the legal system that really doesn't exist.
I'm looking it up because you're making
you got him mad typing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
yeah, they're judicial branch. Federal Bureau of Investigation is
what
a branch of the United States Department of Justice. Judicial branch.
So
explain that to me. What are you talking about?
You have a check and balance system here, right?
That's why there's three arms.
The Supreme Court checks legislative, and then they check the executive, right? The House has the opportunity, and it is their role to open the impeachment process, right? That's the reason why they are doing it. That's their job, is to open that in the House. The judicial system cannot do that, right? They're the ones that let's let's say this was a banana republic, right? And then we impeach Biden because we just didn't like the House and the Senate. They just decided to impeach Biden over nothing, right? Well, then the judicial system should serve as a check and a balance, saying, okay, no, that cannot happen. And then they would overturn that, reestablishing that executive branch. That's where they all work in checks and balances. This is right up the alley of the House to do. This is their job, is to check the power of the executive.
Okay, so I'm going to read something
judicial.
To you. I'm going to read this. Just this directly from. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Classroom, but it's used by colleges, schools, and Classroom actually has this written right here. The FBI investigates possible violations of federal law for the Department of Justice and conducts intelligence operations within the executive branch of the U.S. government. With the broadest authority of all federal law enforcement agencies, the FBI protects American citizens against terrorist activity and foreign espionage, as well as enforces federal criminal law. FBI agents also coordinate and provide advice and leadership to other federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. They are not dictated. They can open an investigation. They are literally the Department of Justice can open an investigation.
Tell me where the founding fathers mentioned the FBI.
They didn't start until the 1900s.
It didn't exist.
Yeah, because again, we're not in the Stone Age, and we fucking modernized our country and developed the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Okay,
we didn't have the Secret Service until when?
So
they don't count?
prior to any of these agencies, who would have been the ones to impeach a president? Who would have?
So you're right. If this was 1780, 100% right now, they couldn't do anything about Biden. But luckily, we're in 2023, and we have an actual Bureau of Investigation, federal, that can open an investigation and should be investigating these allegations.
And when the FBI was initiated, J. Edgar Hoover investigated everybody.
Yeah.
J. Edgar Hoover had ties on everybody.
Yes, now
we question his tactics, right? But I mean, he had dirt on like damn near every president he served under to get his needs. But even in the aftermath of Hoover and the damage that he did, for all the good that he did a lot of damage too. The FBI went back and reformed themselves, and I think even Congress passed bills for the reformation of the FBI. And I know they've done that multiple times with the intelligence community too, but the FBI has the authority to investigate anybody, including the president.
True. And they are investigating Hunter Biden in the laptop and that sort, and we've not seen any movement on that, right? So when we see no movement from
do you know how long it takes to do an investigation, especially an international investigation?
You just asked me why they waited a year to open an impeachment proceeding on Biden.
How are they going to investigate Ukraine when they're in the middle of a war too? Like that, I'm objectively looking at this.
Well, I mean, the conspiracy theorists tell you that's the reason why we're in the middle of a war in Ukraine.
Is to cover it up.
Is to cover it up. Well, not to cover it up, but then also because he owed Ukraine, right? So I mean, there could be multiple levels there. And with all the smoke, I mean, it's a possibility, right? The FBI wasn't acting upon it. They're taking way too long. And if Joe Biden is guilty of these crimes, he should be removed from office and he should be held liable.
Well, they were investigating Hunter for the last 3 years. That's what they were doing.
And then that was a sweetheart deal that he almost got that would have absolved him of all of his crimes.
Which didn't happen. And then the same guy that was investigating him.
Because why?
Because of the judge.
Because the judicial system stopped that.
Exactly. Yes. Checks and balances. And what was great about it is then you have and by the way, the guy that was investigating Hunter initially, that wasn't a special counsel at the time, he was like a Trump appointed guy, right? So he's pretty balanced. Like everybody talks about, he's not a political guy. He's just about justice. So probably the right person to have there, right? So now he gets named a special counsel and he opens up the investigation again. And here we are like a month later and he's like, I'm going to indict that motherfucker because I actually have something. So I bet you anything, you give him the opportunity to look into this. Who's to say he doesn't say we need to open an investigation against the president? And I'm just saying.
And that, to back up Rick's point, I think the words he's looking for is the attorney general is one that has the authority to create special investigators and appoint special designees, just like Congress has the ability to create committees to investigate events.
Do you see the conflict of interest there?
No,
you don't. Okay, Bill Barr yes. during Trump, you think that he would have been the one that advanced any kind of agenda like for 1-6 against Trump?
I would hope so. If he needed to,
Bill Barr might have. But you don't really. There are they're directly appointed by the president of the United States. There's a direct conflict of interest. That's the reason why the House has impeachment proceeding rules in place.
But so if that's such a conflict of interest, how come we've been doing it for 200 years?
Because there's a check and a balance, right? That's the reason why the House can impeach.
But here's the thing too, like there's so many times that the special investigator will, I mean, the special investigator is not appointed by the president. That's appointed by the attorney general. Yes, and the attorney general. But look at, I mean, how many well, I know I lost count of how many cabinet positions were not filled under Trump because so many people did not want to work for Trump.
Okay.
Right. Which also kind of crippled the country a little bit because we had all these people in acting positions and nobody, because they would get in the job. I mean, I think we went through like 2 or 3 DHS, Department of Homeland Secretary, security secretaries in that time. And I think we went through a couple different AGs. I know we went through a couple different FBI directors because, especially, what's his name, man? I can't remember the one dude who.
Well, what's the point on this?
The point I'm trying to get at is that, people have the right to leave too if they think that they're under the influence of the president, and instead of doing the right thing, they have the opportunity to leave and resign their positions too. And if they are also going back to Trump, look at all these indictments for Trump, right? That people are abusing their positions of authority, whether it be classified documents or whatever else they did during January 6th. There's a number of people that are getting indicted right now for not following the law because they were trying to cover Trump's tracks, allegedly. So yes, there is a check and balance. Yes, people are appointed by the president, but that doesn't mean that if you're doing the wrong thing as an AG, that your ass can't come under investigation too.
And I see what you're saying, Duper, but I also don't like the idea, because that's the kind of mentality these days, right? I don't like the people that are in charge of, like, whatever it is. In this case, it's the judicial branch. I don't like what their results were. I think I can do it better than the experts. So I'm going to open my own inquiry, and we're going to spend money doing this.
So I'm going to ask you, how did the House do this if that's not within their path?
No, they can absolutely do this.
So they can do that.
But it's a giant waste of money and time. Why are they not going through the judicial branch?
No, you know what was a waste of time and money was when they impeached Bill Clinton over a blowjob because he lied to the American public. That was a waste of money. When
the Kenneth Starr investigation.
When they impeached Trump twice, that was a waste of money.
100%.
If you have a sitting vice president influencing foreign national governments to feed money, the funnel money into your family, that's a huge issue. And I would agree with that same issue.
Disagreeing with you.
So if there's rumors about Jared and Ivana, right, getting money from the Saudis, would we not want to know about that?
And the judicial branch should be investigating it if there's something there.
And so should the House. Whatever
the House is there to make our fucking gas cheaper, our house and rent cheaper. They're there to make our country work better. They're there to pass a fucking budget, which they're not doing, by the way. And we're only a couple weeks away from shutting down because they can't get their heads out of their asses. That's what the fucking House is there to do. They're there for us. They represent the people. They don't represent the goddamn judicial branch and their fucking petty fucking tit for tats. So that is not what the House is there.
Right. You're right.
The House is not there for that shit, dude. I want to know. That's the problem. You're kind of lost in that, where it's like, this is their responsibility. It is a responsibility, but that is not their priority. Their priority should be to the people that elected them there.
The people.
Really? So the people, want you to go in and impeach Biden. They don't want you to pass a government budget.
No, but I don't think it should be just this. I think we need to look at insider trading. The House is the branch that we can elect individuals into. We elect them in, right? They're our representatives. We don't get to do that with the Supreme Court. We don't get to do that with the FBI. We don't get to do that with the AG. We don't get to elect those people in. The House we elect in,
right?
And when there's corruption and there's issues and things of that sort, well, it has to go through the House first before it gets to the Senate, right? And yes,
no, I'm just saying we elect our senators too,
right? So Congress, we elect all of them in. If we want to hold other branches accountable, well, that's how we do it.
Sure.
That's how we do it in a democratic
republic. Is that the priority?
It is a priority. Yes, corruption within our government is a high priority.
This Joe Biden impeachment, you feel that's a bigger priority than the issues that we're dealing with in the country right now, the rapid inflation?
Oh,
Exactly. If we got to talk about like just how the economy as a whole is in the shitter,
right?
If we got to talk about the education system's in the shitter, where we have a problem with Social Security, we're running out of Social Security before you and I retire. It's done in 2037 as of right now, estimated.
Do you know why?
Yes, because it's poorly fucking managed by Congress. God damn it! Why are we not talking about this? But that's okay. We're gonna impeach Biden. Let's talk about that headline. That's my point. That we elected them to take care of us and represent us, and they don't. Yes. They represent their fucking interests to their lobbies and their party before they represent us.
And they don't have term limits, so they can stay there forever.
Is that we find corruption within the government. That is important. I don't know why you're downplaying that. Now, should they be able to do multiple things at one time? Yes, they should be able to do multiple things at one time. The inflation issue within this country is out of control. I agree with you 100% on Social Security. 100%. There's not really a good solution to that outside of mass immigration, because our birth rates are so low right now, and they're continue to decline. By the time we're in retirement age, there is nobody to fund our Social Security.
Damn well, I've been trying to solve that problem myself.
Amen, brother.
Well, so is Elon with fucking Nevada and Chipotle and.
Well, I'm hoping he's going to get onto the rest of the 49 states, but oh man, you guys get me off track.
All right,
but yeah, also mishandling of the funds within Social Security has also been a huge issue. Yes,
yeah, absolutely,
100%.
100%.
Those things need to be looked at. Insider trading, I think, is a huge issue that we don't address enough, right? And how do we address it as people? We have to elect people in Congress that will look into corruption, insider trading, lobbyist groups, right? Because why is all this shit fucked up? Well, because we elected the wrong people in who were more self-serving than.
And now they're stuck there because of those lobbyist groups that we're trying to fucking get rid of. So that's the problem. There's no term limits again, but they're never going to.
They do have term limits. Like that's
not a proper fucking term limit.
What is
Nancy Pelosi's been
that?
there like 80 years, and she's like, I'm running again. Fucking Dianne Feinstein is literally a zombie in a chair right now.
I know.
Mitch McConnell is having seizures standing at a podium.
Yes.
And these guys have term limits. No, their term limit is death. That's what it is.
Their term limit is us.
It's not.
Because
people are. They don't fucking vote.
Why are we so damn stupid that we keep voting the same damn people in? And
old people.
Then it's our fault. It's our fault. It's our fault.
Well, could it be that younger generations just aren't voting?
No, they're voting in higher numbers than ever before.
And people don't do enough research on the people and their ballots because that takes time.
Actually, what I think it is a form of recency bias where you're familiar with that candidate, that name recognition is out there, so you just vote for who you know.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's it. It doesn't matter
because they don't do their research
up the entire time. Doesn't matter. It's like, oh, okay, I know AOC. Cool. I'm gonna vote for AOC. Oh, I know Ted Cruz. I'm gonna vote for Ted Cruz. I don't know this other person. Right.
That's why
also the two-party system plays a huge issue with that too. We need to have better primaries where we actually challenge these people within our own parties. Right. So then we can get new faces in Congress.
But term limits will help with that too, because then they can't be there for more than 2 terms, as opposed to being reelected continuously until they die or choose to retire.
Make sense for the House,
huh?
2 terms would not make sense.
Why aren't they 2-year terms?
They're 2-year terms.
So give them 3
very
or 4
short terms.
That's it.
Right, very short terms. And then what about when you actually do get somebody in there that's decent?
Great, do great work, and let's hope that there's a better, someone just as good coming behind them.
I think as a republic, we need to learn to hold our politicians more accountable, and to quit electing the same idiots in. If Nancy Pelosi gets voted in again through San Francisco, that's on you, San Fran.
No. See, you got to understand, she's going to get voted in just like McCarthy, and I'm a big critic of McCarthy because he's my representative. That guy's a piece of shit to his constituents. The dude doesn't do shit for us, ever. Like, literally ever. He's all about aspirations, right? And he wanted to be speaker. He wants his shit. And the people out here, nobody runs against him. That's the first problem. He's got a ton of money from Washington. So this last election, he had one person running against him. The woman had to spend $10,000 of her own money to run against him. That was it. Because nobody could fucking go against the juggernaut with $2 million saying, hey, this is what you're going to vote for me. You don't have a choice. That's the corruption I'm talking about.
Yeah,
lobbyists, corporations, but you can't get rid of that. But if you put term limits in, That fucker can only do that a few times, and then we're going to have something with an open competition. And maybe those lobbyists come back with more money and put someone else in that spot, but potentially it doesn't happen that way. At least we get an open field.
Why is the House 2 years and the Senate is 6 years?
You guys want to know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the House was supposed to be the branch where we can make the most immediate impact, right? So if things were going wrong, we could, within a 2-year time frame, we can vote out our politicians, vote in people who will do their fucking job and make an immediate impact. 2 years is a very short amount of time. So it was spread out like that. So then there's, again, a check and a balance system.
Well, it looks like 250 years.
Why is the Senate a 6-year term?
I'm not sure why that's a 6-year term. I guess they probably wanted to spread it out.
So
let's do our research on that.
Maybe we need to look into that. Yeah.
Next show, let's get into that.
Well, we won't talk into that next show. No point in re-talking to the next show. But
okay, well, somebody give us an answer if you know why there's a 6-year term versus a 2-year term.
Yeah, I don't know that one.
Maybe we need to just relook at it, redo the terms for everybody.
Did we all get it out of our system? Lee, you good?
Oh, I've just been listening this entire time.
I love you all.
I tried to start it, but Greg was actually interested in the conversation, so he didn't go along.
Sorry.
Have a fantastic couple days there.
Yeah. Get out there and vote.
Yeah, absolutely. Fucking vote.
And don't just vote for who.
Thanks for listening to the show. Make sure to check out all of our social medias. We are literally everywhere, just like your mom. Now, make sure to subscribe. For any comments, email us at info@takeonein.network.